Hi guys. Today we are going to be working on a very popular request. Usually a lot of people come and ask us, how can we animate lights with MIDI, okay, according to MIDI events, using the MidiEngine Broadcasters plugin. So this is what we'll be working on today.
Damn. Uh, yeah. Uh.
Lovely. So what we're seeing here is that we are playing audio in the background, and then when there's a MIDI note that's coming in, we change the emissive strength of these materials right here. So that's what usually a lot of people are asking for, but it's pretty simple to do. It'll be mostly of a beginner introduction. So if you're already accustomed to the MIDI engine plugin, this will be of less use to you. But if you're new, hopefully this will help. Okay. So to get started, you'll need the MidiEngine Broadcasters plugin installed. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, to get started, I want to start everything completely from scratch because if I just show people example content, it seems like they miss a lot of things. So I'm going to start from a fresh project. Okay, so I'm going to delete everything in the scene so that you can follow along from scratch. Okay. To get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder. I'll just call it a lighting demo. And all our project files will be in here. So since we'll be playing with MIDI and audio, the first thing we want to do is we want to import our MIDI file and our audio file, okay? So I have this duo of files. It's a WAV file and a MIDI file. So I'm going to import those two. Okay, great. So now we need to play these two, okay, in the scene. That means we need to create a MIDI broadcaster that will also play the music. So I'm going to create a new actor. Hopefully you'll follow along. Let's just call this the broadcaster actor, okay? So as a new actor, as you can see, there's nothing. What we're going to do is we are going to add a MIDI broadcaster to it. Okay, cool. The next thing you want to do is start playing the MIDI file or the audio file, okay? And we want to do this on begin play for this tutorial. You can do it from whichever event you want, but for this, we're going to do it on begin play. So drag off your MIDI broadcaster component and then call start broadcast function. Yeah. Cool. So okay, let me close the other tabs. Okay. So the MIDI files, we have to select the MIDI file here, and then we need to select the sound that we want to play. So these are these two that we just imported. This is the sound, and this is the MIDI asset. So right here, we are going to select the MIDI asset, which is Everfields Part 2. The sound has the same name, so I'm just going to search for it. Cool. So these two right here, are the same files as these two right here, the same ones that we just imported. Okay. Lovely. Let's check if this works. If you just drag our MIDI broadcast actor into the world, the music should start playing and everything.
Damn.
Good. Okay, we have our music and our MIDI file broadcasting, but we don't have anything listening to the music or the MIDI file. Okay, so what we are going to do is let's create another actor that's going to listen for MIDI events. So let's create a static mesh actor so that we can visualize the listening part. Lovely. So for a static mesh, let's find a cylinder because I think that will be best, just to replicate the example that we showed in the beginning. So I'm gonna make this taller. So I'm gonna scale it on the z-axis for 5 so that it's taller. Okay, I like it this way. Lovely. So far, let's rename this to our. Let's call it listener mesh actor. You can call it whatever you want, but I'll call it this. Lovely. So this material so far doesn't have an emissive material, so we'll need to create an emissive material. And one other thing we'll need to do is we need to add a MIDI listener component because we want this the cylinder to react to MIDI events or to music. Okay, so for now, before we add the MIDI listener component, let's go ahead and create our material that we are going to apply to the cylinder. So let's create material. Cool. We have a new material, and we are going to focus on this input right here, an emissive color. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a color. Okay, I just pressed number 3 and then clicked on my mouse. If you wanted to create this manually without a shortcut, what you need to do is type vector 3. Okay, this is it's a constant. It's a constant 3 vector. So if you do this, it's the same thing as what I did. Okay, that's how you get to it. So our color here, just to replicate what we had in the beginning, I'm going to choose like a greenish color. Cool. So usually what you want to do is you want to plug that color to the emissive color, okay? But we have nothing to multiply it. So we need to multiply it first before plugging it into here so that it gets brighter. I'll show you what I made in a second. So let's add a single, okay? I think this will be a scalar parameter. If you wanted to do this manually without a shortcut, you hold 1 and then you left click your mouse. It'll add this node, okay? So go ahead and take this and then do multiply. I'm going to plug this to the bottom and then plug this to the top. So in short, what this file is doing is it's multiplying this color, okay, before we plug it into the emissive color. I'll show you what I meant. If we do something like 200, this should start to be really bright, okay? So just basically what we are going to use from our blueprints to make this brighter and darker, okay? So this constant right here that you see, we are going to convert it into a parameter. So the advantage of converting it to a parameter is that we can control it from blueprints. So this step that I'm doing right here is very important because we are going to alter this parameter from blueprint. So you right click and then you convert this to a parameter. Okay, lovely. Let's call this emissive strength. Okay, cool. I think that's a fitting name. So we have emissive strength. Let's give it a default value of 0.05 right now so that it's not initially bright. So for now, this is all we have to do. We have an emissive material. Yeah, we need to apply it to our cylinder. So, okay, we don't have a name for it. It's just new material. So let's give it a name. So I'll call it emitter mat. Cool. You call it whatever you want, but I'll call it that. So search for it here. Cool. Here's our material right here. So we've applied it, but since we need to alter this material at runtime on begin play, okay, of our MIDI listener, okay, we are still setting up our material, even though we selected it here. We need an additional step. So on begin play, you want to get your static mesh actor, and then you want to create a dynamic material instance. Okay, you can go to YouTube and then research this dynamic material instances, but they're basically an instance of this material. Okay, Uh, Let me go ahead and choose the same material. Cool. So we have this dynamic material instance, and it's going to be applied to the first element. Okay. So once we do this, this material right here, the one that comes out of here, it'll take over this material. So this variable that you see here determines what this material looks like. So it's element zero. That's why it's element zero. So that's why we are targeting element zero here. For now, if you don't understand, just follow along, but just research our dynamic material instances. So with our dynamic material instances, we need to promote this to a variable. Okay, we are saving this because we want to use it later. So let's call it met instance. Okay, cool. On begin play, we are done. On begin play, we are done. We have our material instance that we've set right here. The next thing you want to do is let's go ahead and delete these two nodes because they're just confusing me. Press the delete button. So this mesh actor that we have here, we want it to react to MIDI events. When the kick turns on, we want it to light up, and then when the clap plays, we want it to dim. Okay, that's our goal, just like in the original video. So to turn this actor into a MIDI listener, you basically just add the MIDI listener component. Cool, we have the MIDI listener component, and if you click on the MIDI listener component, like you have to click on it, and you scroll all the way down, you'll find there's two events. Okay. You're going to focus on the MIDI note on, but it's the same as the MIDI note off. This one kicks off when the MIDI note turns off, and this one kicks off when the MIDI note turns on. So we add it to our graph right here. Here it is. And like I said in the beginning, we are mostly interested in the kick track. Okay. So the MIDI note event will give you information about which track the MIDI note is coming from. That's what this output is for. So we are going to use this output, and then we are going to use the switch note. Okay. So basically, we are saying we are going to execute things differently depending on which track the MIDI note is coming from. If that makes sense. Okay, cool. So like I said in the beginning, we're only interested in the kick and clap tracks. So let's go ahead and add kick here and then clap. Okay, what determines the names that we input here? Okay, these names are your MIDI file's track name. If you're not sure which track names your MIDI file has, just open it. And these are the tracks. Okay, so we have kick and clap. If yours is called kick bass or bass kick, you'll have to enter bass kick here. So these names, they need to match, and they're case sensitive. So make sure that the names that you input when you are trying to filter here, they match. Okay, so we are targeting the kick track and the clap track. We don't care about other tracks because we won't be using them. So this is sort of our filter. So what this says is that, okay, when a mid note comes in, if it's a kick track, do this. When a mid note comes in, if it's a clap track, if the note is from the clap track, do that. Okay, cool. So going back to our material that we saved here, when the kick track comes in, this is what we want to do. We want to get our material instance, which is the material that's applied to a cylinder. All right. And then we are going to get a scalar parameter value. Okay. So you'll see that you have this input that you need to fill out, which is the parameter name. So what do you enter here? The parameter name in our case is this, emissive strength. Okay. So just copy this or whatever you call it, but we call it emissive strength for ours. And then just paste it here. Cool. So when the kick comes in, we want to get the value of this emissive strength from this material. So this is what's happening. This function goes into the material and then it gets the value of this. It gets the 0.05 or whatever value is currently assigned to this parameter. Okay, cool. Now, after we get it, let's say initially it will be 0.05. When the kick note plays, we want to add to it. Okay, so the higher this value, the brighter the material will get. So if we add to it, it'll get brighter. So each time a kick note plays, we want to add 2 to the strength. Okay, cool. So the result here will be our emissive strength plus 2. So we need to set it again. So go back to your material instance and then call set scalar parameter value. Okay, cool. So same as this node, we want to target our emissive strength parameter. So go ahead and paste it here. And then connect our value that we just added to the result of this addition to this. Okay. So just to explain everything from scratch, what we're doing, when a mid node turns on, if it's a kick, we are going to get the value of our emissive strength. Okay, we are going to get this, and then we are going to add 2 to it, and then we are going to set this value. We are going to set this to 2 plus whatever comes out of here. So every time a kick plays, we add 2. When a kick plays, we add 2. Kick plays, we add 2. Cool. Let's go ahead and see this if this works before we add the clap. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to add our listener into the world too. Remember, we've already added our broadcaster, which is this. Now we have our listener into the world too. So if you press play, what we should see is every time the kick track plays, they should get brighter.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh, it works, but if you do this, we are not shutting it down. We just keep on increasing the emissive strength. But what we'd like to do is we want to shut off the emissive strength when the clap plays. Okay. So what we'll do is when the clap plays, what we'll need to do is we need to call set scalar parameter from our material instance. So let's do set scalar. So this is the same as this. We are setting the value of our emissive strength basically. And we'd like to set it to a very low value so that it turns off. You can set it to 0, but I choose 0.05 because I don't want it to be completely off. I just want it to be darker. Lovely. So with this setup, oh, okay. Remember, you have to enter your parameter name here, always, which is emissive strength. Cool. With this now, this should work as intended.
Damn. Yeah.
Well, as you can see, when the kick plays, it gets brighter. And then when the clap plays, it shuts down the light, basically. So that's basically what you need to do to influence lights with MIDI events. Okay. Another question that came in is what if the material uses a parameter collection instead of a parameter? Okay, if you have a parameter collection, let's just create a parameter collection just real quick. Okay, cool. Let's call this the I don't know, in a mid group. I don't know. You'll call it whatever you want, but I'll call it a mid group. And then our parameter collection has a scalar, which will set it to emissive strength 2. That's the name of our parameter value. And we'll still give it 0.05. Cool. So we have our parameter collection. So we need to use it as from our material. We need to type parameter collection. Okay, emit group. Cool. The parameter we're interested in is emissive strength. Okay, cool. Instead of plugging this in, let's plug in our parameter collection value. Okay, cool. So now we are using a parameter collection instead of a single parameter right here. So with the when you're using the parameter collection, you don't need to do the first step right here. You don't need to create a dynamic material instance. You don't need to cache or save the material instance. So let's go ahead and disconnect this so that it's not created. So this is not executing on begin play. Cool. And one other thing you want to do is you need to call um, get scalar parameter value like this, and then it'll ask you for a collection. So when I did this, you can see that I'm not dragging out of anything. I'm just searching for it from an empty space. So that's what you need to do. So the collection we're trying to target is a bit group, and the parameter is emissive strength. So this here will replace, let me just drag all of these down so that it's not too cluttered. Okay, cool. So this here will replace this. Okay, so I'm going to delete these two. Don't need them anymore. We don't need them for our parameter collection. So cool. So once we get it, we still want to do the same thing. You want to add it. We want to add two to it. Here, I'll delete that, and then you want to do set scalar parameter value. As you can see, it allows you to choose a collection too. So go ahead and choose a collection, and then choose the emissive strength, and then set it. We don't need to do the same thing when the clap plays. We don't need our material instance anymore, but we need this function. Remember, we chose 0.05 so that it's not too dark. So even when using the material parameter collection like we're doing here, this should still work.
Damn. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. You can see that it works in both scenarios. The situation is the same even if you're working with like actual lights. You just modify the light here. Okay, whatever you do after this node right here is up to you. Okay, you can do anything you want. The only thing you need to know is that it'll execute when, let's say, the kick plays, the clap plays. If you want to add like the piano track, you can do the piano track. You don't have to account for all tracks when you're using the switch node. Okay, that's why I didn't add other tracks. I just added the only two that I'm focused on. So one thing that I'd advise is that you watch the beginner tutorials. Yeah, and that should pretty much be it. Okay, thanks.